Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the English Learner Podcast. I'm Anna. We're so happy you're here today. If you enjoy learning English with us, don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel for more useful lessons and real-life conversations.
Hi, everyone. I'm Tom, and I'm excited to learn English with you today.
Today's topic is Learn English with Online Shopping. This is a very useful topic because many people shop online and use English when they buy things on websites or apps.
Yes, that's right. Online shopping is very common now, and it's a great way to practice English in real life.
When we talk about online shopping, we can start with simple sentences like, I buy clothes online, or I order food from an app.
You can also say, I shop online once a week, or I use shopping apps every day.
Another idea is to talk about what you buy. For example, I buy clothes, shoes, and books online.
Or, I like to buy electronics, accessories, and small items online.
You can also talk about why you like online shopping. For example, it is easy, or it saves time.
Yes, and you can say, I don't need to go outside, or I can find many choices online.
Another reason is price. You can say, sometimes online prices are cheaper, or I can find good discounts.
That's true. Many people like to wait for sales. You can say, I wait for special sales before I buy something.
You can also talk about searching for products. For example, I search for items online, or I look for good deals.
And before buying, many people check information. You can say, I read reviews, or I check the product details.
Let's try a simple example. I can say, I use my phone to shop online and look for good prices.
That's a good example. I can say, I compare prices and read reviews before I buy something.
You can also talk about payment. For example, I pay with my card, or I use online payment.
Or, I choose cash on delivery, if that is available.
Delivery is another important part. You can say, my order arrives in 2 days, or I am waiting for my package.
You can also say, the delivery is fast, or the delivery takes a long time.
Sometimes there are problems. You can say, the item was not the same, or the delivery was late.
Or, the product was damaged, or I received the wrong item.
You can also talk about returning items. For example, I returned the product, or I asked for a refund.
That's very useful in real life. You can also say, the return process was easy, or it was difficult to return the item.
Let's make a longer example. You can say, I shop online every week. I buy clothes and small items, and I always check reviews before I buy.
And you can add, I like online shopping because it is easy, fast, and convenient.
You can also describe your habits. For example, I usually shop online at night, or I look for discounts on weekends.
Or, I save items in my cart and buy them later.
That's a great habit. You can also say, I add items to my cart and think before I buy.
Another useful sentence is, I compare different products before I choose one.
Yes, comparing helps you make better decisions and gives you more things to talk about in English.
You can also talk about your favorite shopping platforms. For example, I use a shopping app, or I prefer shopping on websites.
And you can say, I like using apps because they are easy, or websites have more information.
Talking about online shopping is easy because it is part of your daily life.
Yes, you can practice these sentences every day when you use your phone or computer.
The key is to use simple sentences and speak regularly.
Remember, you don't need difficult words. Simple and clear sentences are the best.
The more you talk about your shopping habits, the more confident you will become.
Practicing these ideas will help you talk about online shopping more naturally and comfortably in English.
Let's continue talking about real-life situations for online shopping. Another question you can ask is, do you like buying clothes or electronics online?
And you can answer, I like buying clothes because it is easy to compare sizes and styles. Or, I prefer electronics because I can find good deals.
You can also ask, how often do you check for discounts or sales?
Then you can answer, I check every weekend, or I usually wait for big sales like Black Friday.
Another useful question is, do you read the product description before buying?
You can answer, yes, I always read the details to make sure it is the right size or color, or no, I usually look at the pictures first.
You can also ask about delivery. For example, do you choose fast delivery or standard delivery?
Then you can answer, I choose fast delivery when I need the item quickly, or I choose standard delivery because it is cheaper.
Another topic is tracking your order. You can say, I check the delivery status online, or I get notifications when my order is shipped.
You can also ask, have you ever had a problem with delivery?
And the answer can be, yes, my package was delayed. Or, no, the delivery was always on time.
Another situation is talking about returns. You can ask, have you ever returned a product?
And the answer can be, yes, I returned a shirt because it didn't fit. Or, no, I never returned anything.
You can also talk about reviews. For example, I always read reviews before buying a product, or I check the ratings to make a good choice.
Another useful question is, do you prefer shopping on a website or an app?
Then you can answer, I prefer apps because they are easy to use, or I like websites because they have more information.
You can also talk about your favorite sellers. For example, I like buying from trusted sellers, or I always check the seller's rating before buying.
Another idea is to talk about payment. You can say, I pay with my credit card, or I use online banking.
And you can ask, do you feel safe paying online?
Then you can answer, yes, I feel safe, or sometimes I feel worried, so I choose cash on delivery.
You can also talk about gift shopping. For example, I buy gifts online for my family and friends, or I order presents for special occasions.
Another useful sentence is, I like to check the delivery options when buying gifts.
You can also talk about new trends. For example, I follow new products online, or I like seeing what's popular this week.
Another topic is comparing prices. You can say, I compare prices on different websites before buying, or I check for discounts and coupons online.
You can also talk about your shopping experience. For example, my order arrived quickly, or the product quality was very good.
And sometimes you can say, the delivery took longer than expected, or the product was not what I expected.
You can also talk about your favorite categories. For example, I usually buy clothes, accessories, and books online. Or I like electronics and home products.
These are real-life situations you can use every day to practice English while shopping online.
Asking questions, giving answers with small details, and talking about your experiences will make your English more natural.
Yes, practicing these situations regularly will help you feel more confident when talking about online shopping in English.
Now let's talk about how to practice English naturally using online shopping. One of the best ways is to combine your shopping habits with learning English. For example, when you browse products online, try reading the descriptions in English.
Yes, that's very helpful. Reading product descriptions, reviews, and details gives you real vocabulary you can use every day.
You can also listen to English videos or tutorials about online shopping, unboxing, or product reviews. Listening helps improve your understanding and pronunciation.
For example, you can watch a video that says, "This product is very good quality," and then repeat it out loud to practice speaking.
Another way is to practice thinking in English. When you browse a shopping app, try to describe what you see. For example, this shirt is blue, or these shoes look comfortable.
Speaking out loud, even to yourself, is a great way to remember words and phrases.
You can also write short sentences about your shopping experiences. For example, I bought a new bag yesterday. It is very nice. Or I ordered a book online and it arrived today.
Writing helps you organize your thoughts and remember new vocabulary.
Another strategy is to practice small conversations. Imagine asking a friend about online shopping. For example, which website do you use the most? Or do you check reviews before buying?
You can answer your own questions to practice speaking. For example, I use an app to buy clothes. I always read reviews before buying.
Another idea is to record yourself. Talk about what you bought online, your favorite app, or a recent experience, and then listen to improve your pronunciation.
You can also use your hobbies. If you like fashion, watch videos about clothing. If you like gadgets, read reviews in English. This makes learning more interesting.
Another strategy is to learn new vocabulary step by step. Start with simple words like buy, order, price, delivery, and then add words like discount, review, or refund.
Practicing these words in real situations makes it easier to remember them.
You can also practice comparing products. For example, this shirt is cheaper than that one, or this phone has better reviews.
Yes, comparing helps you use more English in a natural way.
Another idea is to practice speaking about problems and solutions. For example, the delivery was late, so I contacted customer service, or the product was damaged and I asked for a refund.
Talking about problems helps you prepare for real situations and gives you more practice in English.
You can also practice giving opinions. For example, I think this product is too expensive, or I like this design more than the other one.
You can also practice explaining reasons. For example, I bought this bag because it is very durable, or I chose this phone because it has a long battery life.
Another great tip is to talk about quantity and frequency. For example, I buy online 3 times a month, or I often check new products on my favorite app.
You can also describe your shopping routine. For example, every weekend I look for discounts online, or I usually order groceries online in the evening.
Another idea is to describe how you use apps or websites step by step. For example, first I search for the product. Then I compare prices and read reviews. Finally, I add it to my cart and pay online.
This is a very natural way to practice English because it shows your thinking process.
You can also talk about gifts and special occasions. For example, I bought a gift online for my friend's birthday, or I ordered a present for my parents during the holiday.
And you can practice giving advice. For example, I recommend checking the reviews before buying, or you should compare prices to get the best deal.
Another important tip is to practice with friends or family. You can ask each other questions, talk about your favorite apps, or discuss your shopping habits.
Using English in real situations like online shopping is one of the best ways to improve quickly.
Remember, the more you practice, the more natural your English becomes. Speak, listen, read, and write about online shopping every day.
You can also try new vocabulary and phrases every week. For example, learn words like checkout, cart, discount code, or delivery tracking. Then use them in sentences.
And don't forget to add details to make your sentences longer and more interesting. For example, I bought a red dress online last week because it was on sale, and it arrived 2 days later.
Yes, adding details like color, time, reason, or quantity makes your English sound more natural.
Keep practicing step by step. Use your real-life shopping experiences and try to speak or write in English every day. That's how you can improve faster and enjoy learning.
Now let's wrap up our discussion about learning English with online shopping. Remember, practicing simple sentences about your daily shopping habits will help you speak more naturally and confidently.
Yes, and don't forget to include small details. For example, I bought a blue shirt online yesterday, or I check reviews before I buy something. These small details make your conversation more interesting and easier for others to understand.
Another tip is to practice every day, even for just a few minutes. You can speak out loud, write short sentences, or think in English about what you buy online, how you pay, or how long delivery takes.
And remember, making mistakes is normal. Don't be afraid to speak. Every time you practice, your confidence and fluency improve, and you will start to think in English naturally.
Listening is also very helpful. You can watch English videos, follow tutorials, or read product reviews online. Notice the words people use, how they describe products, and how they explain their opinions.
You can practice asking questions like, which website do you use the most? Or, do you prefer shopping online or in stores? Asking questions keeps the conversation flowing and makes it more interactive.
Another strategy is to compare items and explain why you choose one over another. For example, I chose this phone because it has a longer battery life. Or, this bag is cheaper than the other one, and I liked the color.
You can also talk about delivery and payment methods. For example, I paid with my card, I used online payments, or my order arrived in 2 days. Talking about real-life situations makes your English sound natural and useful.
Practicing with friends or family is very effective. You can ask each other questions, share experiences, or give advice about shopping apps, websites, and products.
Another important tip is to describe your shopping routine. For example, I usually shop online at nights. I check for discounts every weekend, or I save items in my cart and buy them later. These small details make your sentences longer and more natural.
You can also talk about problems and solutions. For example, the delivery was late, so I contacted customer service, or I returned the product because it was the wrong size. Talking about real problems makes your English more practical.
Don't forget to add your opinions. For example, I like this product because it is useful, or I don't like this one because it is too expensive. Sharing opinions helps conversations feel natural.
Using online shopping as a topic is a fun and practical way to practice English every day. Speak, write, read, and listen about it regularly, and you will improve quickly.
Thank you so much for listening to the English Learner podcast today. We hope these tips help you speak confidently about online shopping.
Yes, and don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel for more lessons and real-life conversations. Keep practicing a little every day.
See you in the next episode. Keep exploring, stay confident, and enjoy learning English.
Bye, everyone. Practice your English. Use real-life situations like shopping online, and have fun while learning.